Hello students, welcome once again to the biology classroom. Let us continue our chapter Fundamental Unit of Life, and the topic that we are discussing in our last lecture is the structural organization of cell, and let us continue that topic. So this is the structure of a cell in which various cell organelles, that structures that are present inside the cell are shown, and this is the nucleus, that is our today's topic. So nucleus is the largest and one of the most important cell organelle in eukaryote cells, and it is located in the center of the animal cells and at the periphery of the plant cell. We have discussed about it in our last video lecture. It is absent in prokaryote and the nucleus is important because it controls all the metabolic and genetic activities of the cell. It is center of genetic information as it contains DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and it was discovered by Robert Brown in 1831. Usually one nucleus is present in most of the cells, but sometimes they have more than one. Like in paramecium there are two nuclei present and they are called as binucleates. So let us continue. What is the nucleus consist of? So a nucleus is made up of four parts. One is nuclear membrane, second is nuclear sap or nucleoplasm or karyoplasm, third is this nucleolus, and the fourth is the chromatin material that is present inside this nucleus. So nucleus is surrounded by a double layered membrane which is called as nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope, and it acts as a barrier and separates the cytoplasm of the cell from the nuclear content. It contains small pores called as nucleopores, and which allows the transfer of selective material from inside the nucleus to the outside cytoplasm. Nucleoplasm. The nucleus is filled with a transparent granular liquid matrix called as nucleoplasm, and the nuclear components such as nucleolus and chromatin material are embedded in it. Nucleolus is a small spherical body present in one side of the nucleus, and they are not bounded by any membrane and may be one or more in number. Nucleolus is rich in proteins and ribonucleic acid RNA, and it is the site of ribosome synthesis, which further helps in the manufacture of the proteins, right? So next part is the chromatin material. Chromatin actually means colored material. Chromatin means colored material and indicates the ability of the material to take up the stain, right? So these are thread-like structures, and it is composed of DNA and proteins, and DNA is the genetic material, as all of you know, as it contains all the information required for the metabolism, growth, reproduction, and hereditary characters of an organism. Actually, at the time of cell division, chromatin material become highly condensed, thick rod-like structures known as chromosomes. And so these contain the segment of DNA called genes, and they are arranged in a linear order along the chromosome. So let us see this whole interrelationship of a cell, nucleus, chromosome, DNA and gene in our next slide. So here is the given, this cell. Inside that cell we all know there is presence of nucleus, so we taken out the nucleus outside. In nucleus there is presence this chromatin material chromosome, and the chromosomes are composed of this DNA. So a small segment of DNA is called as gene, and gene is the functional unit of chromosome. Genes carry genetic information through successive generation. They determine the characteristic features of the next generation, and one gene may be responsible for one or more function, or a single function may be carried out by a set of genes, right? So the chromosomes carry gene filled with genetic information, and they are called as hereditary vehicles, and genes are called as the unit of heredity because they help the transmission of characters from parent to offsprings at the time of reproduction. So that is the interrelationship between that, how a cell carry a nucleus, and nucleus have chromosomes, and chromosome have DNA, and DNA have genes which are basically controlling the characteristic features of the next generation. And it's very important that you must have an idea regarding what this chromosome is, what the gene is, right? So let us discuss about what are the functions of a nucleus. Nucleus is the center of genetic information, so it has command and control on the activities inside a cell. And nucleus provide information for protein synthesis. As I told you, the nucleus is a site where ribosome synthesis takes place, and ribosomes helps in the manufacture of the proteins. And nucleus play a crucial role in cell division, right? So according to the surrounding environment, the nucleus determine the way the cell will develop, and this is done by directing the controlling cellular metabolic activities of the cell. So this is all about nucleus. In the next video lecture, we will study about the cytoplasm and the cell organelles.